There are no plans in the immediate future to do another European tour. We are an international organization, and one of our mission sets is to be foreign ambassadors of goodwill. However, in the next 2 years, we don't plan to go abroad. We have in the past, but we don't in the near future.
That's actually a great question. I would love to do a European tour. However, our job is to help recruiting and also help inspire the next generation of the Navy and Marine Corps. So our mission is better served in the United States right now. But we put out our schedule 2 years in advance, and it goes through a scheduling, an approval process that the Navy decides for us. For me personally, the hardest maneuver is we call the double farball. It's where the #1 jet and myself roll inverted and join up in formation with 2 and 3 flanking us, and fly in formation upside down that close to another airplane. Very challenging, and everything is backwards. It's very uncomfortable, and that's by far the hardest thing I do. I don't think anything's more challenging than a night carrier landing. This is unforgiving, just like behind the aircraft carrier. However, night aircraft carrier landing in bad weather is about the scariest I've ever been, and probably will continue to be in the future.
It takes, there are different processes. To become an enlisted member, somebody who maintains the aircraft, they go through about a 2-month process, what we call a newbie process, and they're taught some of the history and heritage of the Blue Angels. They're taught the specific maintenance requirements that are unique to the Blue Angels, and they're taught some of the show requirements. Basically, they have a lot of knowledge about what is the Blue Angels, and that takes about 2 months. From the pilot's perspective, we go through about 2.5 months worth of intensive winter training in El Centro before we perform our first show there in El Centro, plus about 2 weeks prior to a month prior in Pensacola. So it's about 3.5 months of preparation before we do our first show.
That's a good question as well. The training, we'll do over 120 practice flights in El Centro, California prior to our first air show. And through that training, we train both as a diamond, and the souls will train individually, and we'll also then train as a 6-ship, as a delta. And we'll start pretty far apart, and it's about a 3-month process. And through that, we'll develop not only the consistency, but also the trust in each other to fly as close as we do and be able to put on an air show. I would say that unfortunately the rides are tough to come by. The rides get approved on a higher level than us, so we don't actually control the rides. And it's based on either a media person or a key influencer of the community, or a VIP like a celebrity, a professional athlete.
There are single members on the team, yes.
There are a couple single Blue Angels out there. I won't say who they are. I'm a happily married man though, and have a little son on the way.
There are females on the team. There's, I think, 10% of the core of the team is female.
I personally have not, but I know there have been Blue Angels that have gone on to become astronauts. It is by far the most fun I've ever had flying or in the Navy. It's a lot of work though too. We take our job very seriously, both the demo in the air and critiquing ourselves, always trying to make ourselves better, but also our real mission outside the cockpit of recruitment and inspiration. We visit hospitals and schools, so it's very, very busy, but very, very rewarding and very fun.